Very good morning, children. In previous video, we have studied about the central problem of economy. In that, we have completed around 3 topics related to the causes of the problem, economic problem, and what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. Now we are going to understand the tools of the central problem, that is production possibilities curve. Production possibility curve is also known as production possibility frontier. There are so many names of production possibility curve. What is it and how it is used in the economy to solve the economic problem? Let's understand. First, understand the meaning of production possibility curve. Production possibility curve shows various alternative combination of goods and services which can produce when the resources are fully and efficiently employed. The meaning that this is the concept which deal with two commodity or two goods and services in the economy which can be produced with the resource, within the resource, and the material which is available which can be fully and efficiently employed. If we say in a economic way, what is the definition of production possibility curve, that can be deal like that PPC refers to the graphical representation of. Now the keywords to learn the definition I am giving to you here, graphical representation, that is important one, you can underline. PPC refers to graphical representation of possible combination of two goods. Another underlining word is possible combination of two goods that can be produced within given resource and technology. It means it is a graphical representation which can be presented in a graph, and it shows the combination of production combination of two goods, their possibility that two goods at a time when we are going to produce, what can be the various combination which can produce within given resource and given technology. Whenever the word given you will find, it means that in the economy it is available to the producer, and using those available resources and technology when we are going to produce some goods and services, that is called given material. Okay, so PPC works on certain assumption. You need to understand assumptions very carefully because in the examination assumptions always been asked. So what are those assumptions? What are those bases on which production possibility curve work? These assumptions you need to learn. That the first one is that all the resources which we are going to use for the production possibilities, that should be fixed. It means that we are not changing time and again. Like suppose now we are going to produce 1 unit, so the resources were 2 material or 3 material. If we are going to produce 2 unit or 10 unit, now resources is going to be changed, so that will not be possible to interpret the PPC concept. So here assumption is that the resources are fixed always at any level of production output, it is not changing. Second, the technology remain constant. Whatever the technology we are using, whether labor intensive or capital intensive, that should be chosen one first time, and that will remain unchanged. Means we will not change while every stages of production. The resources are fully employed, means whatever the resource we have been given, whether we have been given fixed resource, means capital resource, or we have been given any technology, that should be fully employed. That should not means partial employed, or that should not be like we are wasting our resources. The 3, I think it is very easy to learn, that the resources should be fixed, technology should be constant, and resources should be fully employed. The 4th one is very important. Try to understand. The 4th one is resources are not equally efficient in production of all product. Means the resources which we have been given, that are not equally efficient. Equally means suppose we are going to produce X commodity and Y commodity together. So naturally resources will be either we can use in production of X or we can use in production of Y. We cannot produce both commodity with the same technology or with the same resources. So the fourth one, to understand better way, let's see how the fourth assumption work. It worked on the concept of MOC, that is called marginal opportunity cost. Let's understand with the example. Suppose in an economy we are going to produce two commodity X and Y, or you can take bread and butter, or any kind of combination, whatever you like. And the resources, suppose resources we are using worker or any kind of machinery is employed in production of X. Suppose worker, in place of worker you can take machinery also. Here I have taken worker. Suppose X we are going to produce and this worker is totally suited for the production of X and he is expert of the production of X material. Okay, X we can say, suppose he is very much caliber expert in the production of bread. Now the economy decided to reduce the production of bread, yani X, and want to increase the production of suppose sweets, which is Y. So worker will have to shift the production from X to Y. The problem is that he is not suited or not efficient to work in the production of Y as he was best for production of X. So what will happen? The productivity of Y will be low because the worker, the employed material which we have taken is not fully efficient. Productivity, overall productivity will be low and cost of production will be high. I hope you understand. Two commodity we are going to produce and the resources which is available, it is only efficient for one first commodity, not for the second commodity. But if we want to produce the second commodity using the same resource, naturally the total production will be low. So this concept is related to marginal opportunity cost. Now what is it? Let's understand. If the resources are transferred from one use to another use, the less and less efficient resource will be transferred. And this will rise marginal opportunity cost. So what is called marginal opportunity cost? It refers to the number of unit of a commodity when it is sacrificed to gain one more additional unit of another commodity. Means two commodity produce, when the resources number of commodity, for first commodity suppose 10 unit we were producing. Now if we want to produce one more unit, it means 11th unit if we want to produce, we will have to sacrifice some of the units for the production of one more unit. That concept is known as marginal opportunity cost. Opportunity means next one and marginal means for the every additional next is known as marginal opportunity cost, or another name is marginal rate of transformation. This is very important to know. Marginal rate of transformation or marginal opportunity cost, both are same. What is it? It refers to have one more unit of any commodity, we will have to sacrifice some unit of other commodity. That is called marginal opportunity cost. So we can have the formula on the basis of definition that changes in the unit sacrifice divided by changes in the unit gain. Or we can say in simple word, means whatever losses we are doing in the first commodity and whatever divided by the gain we are doing in the next commodity. So this is the formula for the marginal opportunity cost, that loss upon gain we can write. I will tell you with the table in the next further slides. Here it is very much important to know, if marginal opportunity costs rise, the shape of production possibility curve will be concave. It is very important to understand. You just pay attention properly. If marginal opportunity cost falls, production possibility curve will be convex. And if marginal opportunity cost is constant, production possibility curve will be straight. How? Let's see with an example. Here I am showing you a table. In this table, just see here, two commodity we have taken, bread and butter, X denoted bread, and y is butter. And in the first column, combination we are showing. Combination means possibilities that two commodity bread and butter we have to produce with the same resources. Here assumption is similar, that resources are fully employed and fixed and technology is unchanged. So suppose if we are taking first possibility, that is A, that we are going to produce we are going to employ our entire resources in the production of y only, means butter only. Suppose we have resources of 10, so we have invested entire 10 rupees, or we can say 10 resources in the production of butter. So there will be zero production in the production of bread. Okay. Second possibility can be that we want to produce one additional unit. As we have seen, MOC concept comes only when the additional unit arise and we have to sacrifice something. If you see in the first A column, in the MOC column, there is no MOC, there is no marginal opportunity cost. Why? Because we have invested entire resource in the production of a second commodity, that is butter. Now we want to produce one extra commodity of X. If we are going to produce one commodity of X, previously it was 0, now we are going to produce 1. So what will happen? We will have to take the resources from the butter and it should be employed in the production of bread, then only it can be possible. So what happened? We have taken 1 unit from butter, and how much left for the production of butter? It is 9. So marginal opportunity cost, just look at here, which production is getting gain and which production is having losses. If you see, bread is gaining and butter is losing. How? Previously butter was having 10 resources, now it is 9, then 7, then 4, then 0. Similarly, if bread we see, it is gaining time and again, and it is 1, then 2, then 3 and 4 kind of. So every now and then bread is gaining and butter is losing. Using the formula loss upon gain, we are finding marginal opportunity cost. I'll show you at the last how it has been calculated. Okay. The second C combination, C possibility, just check it. In that, if we want to produce one more unit of bread, we'll have to sacrifice again something from the Y. So here one more unit we have taken, means total how many units we are going to produce of X? 2 units. How much it is left now? Out of 9, 2 we have given to production of X. So what will happen? Only 7 will be left in the production of Y. So here again marginal opportunity cost arised. In the same manner, in the third unit you are going to see, now we are going, combination possibility of D. If we see, we are expecting to produce 3 units of bread. It means from butter, which was 7 previously, now we'll have to take resources from the butter, and 3 resources we have given to bread. How much it is left in hand of? It is 4 only. So in that manner it is going on. If we see the MOC column, here marginal opportunity cost is rising. Just look at 1, 2, 3, 4. So when the marginal opportunity cost rises, what will be the shape of curve? Concave. I told you. Here just look at the diagram. You need to learn how to make the diagram. Diagram just here it is 2 axes we will take, x-axis and y-axis. Always remember, on x-axis we used to write down the commodity which is gaining, and on y-axis we used to write down commodity which is sacrificing. Okay, so here bread is gaining, so that will be at x-axis, and y means butter is losing, it is sacrificing, it will be on y-axis. Unit, measuring unit, you can take it as per the numbers you have taken in the table. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 we have taken for the X, and 2 unit measure we have taken for the Y, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And accordingly we plotted the figures. I will show you on blackboard how this figure has been taken, how the curve has been made in the next video. Okay, so here the curve, if you see, the highest production of Y commodity was 10. Let's see again that table, that the total production, if you see, the highest production of butter was 10 and the lowest production of butter was 0. Similarly, when the production of butter was 10, that time X production was 0. Look at here. When the, here just look at Y-axis, when the production of Y is 10, on the X-axis just look at, there is 0 production of X. Okay. Similarly, when the production of bread is higher, means 4 unit, that time butter is 0. Just look at, when the production of bread is higher, that is on 4, butter is 0. Now the next combination, where it is, just see the B point. When the production of butter is 9, bread is 1. Just look at here, the B point where it is circled. When the production of butter is 9, we have plotted on 1 it is. In this way, when we are going to adjoin all the point, we are finding that the shape of the curve is concave shape. Okay. Now, the next concept. The same scenario, if it is opposed. Now, if the sacrificing rate is more than the gaining rate. Here, just look at, butter is sacrificing more and more. Here, butter is sacrificing, previously 10 it was having. Now, it has sacrificed for the production of 1 unit. Now, it in hands of butter, it is only 6 they are having, means around 4 resources was used in the production of X commodity. Similarly, for the additional unit production of 2, it has sacrificed 3. Now this 10, 6, 3, 1, 0 is again a huge fall in the production of butter. The resources is falling, more fall. So you may have a question that in the previous 1 we were sacrificing, that's why the combination was proper. Now here, if 10 out of 10, 1 has been given for the production of X, how come it is 6 only? This is concept, the silent concept behind it, that the resources has been shifted, not unit. Here entire number is unit only, not resources. In the previous table also there was only unit we have written. Okay, so previously we have seen that the 0 unit production, that time 10 unit production was done with the same resource. Resource we have assumed workers. Okay, so here also the worker has been shifted for the production of X, then there will be much fall in the Y production, and in that way marginal opportunity cost is decreasing day by day, means it is decreasing 4, 3, 2, 1. So when we are going to plot the diagram, it will be plotted like this. So this shape is known as convex shape. So whenever marginal opportunity cost will fall, there will be convex shape. Now look at the third table. Here what is happening? The butter, again it is sacrificing for the production of X, as per the assumption कि whenever we are going to produce 2 commodity together, for the production of 1 commodity, 1 additional unit of the production of 1 commodity, we will have to sacrifice some unit of other commodity. So here the sacrificing rate is again, if you see very silently, very minutely, you will find that the sacrificing rate is constant. 16 was there. Now 1 unit we have given for the production resources, we have given shifted to the production of X for the 1 unit. Then now butter, means a Y commodity resources, is left only for the production of 12 unit. Then 8 unit, then 4 unit. Overall, marginal opportunity cost is falling with the same rate. Here, the MOC will be equal rate. In that case, PPC curve, means production possibility curve, will shape straight line. It will be always straight. Now you may have a question how it has been done. Just look at the table once again, which we have used in the first one. That the previously when x was 0, remember here resource is fixed. Resource, now I am assuming only one machinery. Okay, resource is one machinery. If one machinery we are using for the entire production of Y commodity, there will be zero production of X commodity. Okay. Now, if the same machine we are giving for the production of 1 unit of X, so when it will be given again to the Y production, there will be fall in the total unit of the production of Y. So just look at, now it is from 10 to 9. So difference between 10 and 9 is 1. This is called loss. Okay. And difference between 0 and 1 is also 1. This is called gain. So if we are going to write down loss upon gain, means it will be 1 divided by 1. So answer will be 1. That side in MOC column it is 1. Now look at the next B and C column. B and C column you will find in Y column it is 9 and then there is 7. Difference between 9 and 7 is 2. And here in X column 1 and 2. So difference between 1 and 2 will be 1. So loss will be 2 and gain will be 1. So loss upon gain means 2 divided 1 will be 2. So that's why in MOC column we have written 2. In the same manner we have taken all the figure. In the previous all table which we have seen, either straight or convex, the concept was same. PPC curve is always, just look at, it is concave. Okay. Now see what are the main properties, main characteristic of production possibility curve. This is very important topic and it always comes for 4 marks. There are two major characteristic of production possibility curve. One, that PPC always slopes downward. Again, I am telling to you PPC here, it is a graphical presentation of a curve. So here we are talking about the curve line, that the curve is always slopes downward side. It is from the top to the bottom, it is sloping. I'll show you in the next video how the slopes works. Okay. So here PPC slopes downward. Why? Because more of one good can be produced only by taking resource away from the production of another good. We have seen in the previous slides that when we are going to produce one more unit of another commodity, we will have to sacrifice, we'll have to take away some resources from the previous commodity. As there is inverse relationship between the change in quantity of one commodity and change in quantity of other commodity. Because of this, what happened? The slope of curve fall and it create downward sloping. Learn it by heart because it is very important. In this, PPC is concave to the origin, concave shape. Okay, why? Because increasing MOC. The only reason, whenever the shape related question will be asked, why the shape is straight or shape is convex or shape is concave, the reason is only marginal opportunity cost. Whether either marginal opportunity cost will rise or it will fall or it will not fall, will be constant. Only that is responsible for the shape of the production possibility curve. Here, why it is concave to the origin? Because marginal opportunity cost is rising. It means that the more and more unit of one commodity are sacrificed to gain an additional unit of another commodity. That's why PPC is concave to the origin. So today we have studied this much only. I hope you have understood. If you have not understood, please write in the comment box below, or you can message me and ask me in the message also. And the further detail I'll give you with the video in the board so that you can understand the concept clearly. This chapter is not ended yet because a lot more we have to study. Do study well at home and prepare notes. Any kind of doubt you are free to ask. Thank you.